And so please welcome the resiliency ninja, Allison.
So my heart is still going from the caps. Did you hear me over there gasping? I couldn't even do it. Like, there has to be a trick to it. But apparently, if you go on YouTube, you can see magicians smashing their hands. So don't ever watch it, and please don't ever try it at home. And thank you, Jeff. How about a big round of applause for Jeff and me, who have been rocking the stage all day for us. And it's interesting, as we were talking last night about that story, he was like, what are the little anecdotes? And on Thursday, I was speaking for the IP Executive MBA program. And the secret that none of them know is that I never actually finished university. And there's some irony in that, and now everybody knows, because I've just said it in front of you. Please don't tweet that out. All right, so anyway, but that was it. But I did go back the first 2 months of university, and they wanted me to write the final exams for the year before. And it was funny, because I was thinking last night as I got back to the hotel, how much I lacked resilience back then. Because I left. I didn't finish. The horrible things happened, I got sick, and etc., and then I gave up. Which is very different than today, because I went through what I call a decade of hell. Who has been through really shitty times in their life? Hands up. Okay, and the other ones, I hate to tell you, but watch it. Because that's what life is all about. It's about these challenges. And for me, through the decade of hell, I was running a business. And, excuse me, and oh, by the way, who is really relieved to hear that I did not literally marry my mother? And nor did I give birth to a dog. It's just that many times that's what it felt like through this time. So, and by the way, this story I'm sharing with you, not to go woe is me and look what happened, and we're not going to play topics and all of that kind of stuff, but it's really about, I hope to give you some tools. Because stress, obstacles, adversity are going to happen in your life in varying degrees, and I want to give you some strategies on how you don't allow that to define you. But also, if you're someone who's going through grief right now, or in physical pain, or going through a divorce, or lost somebody you really care about, I want to give you hope that it doesn't need to define you. And so, as I went through this, and I wrote the book, and of course, when I first started telling people the title, my close friends were like, it's about time, you're finally going to write the book. And other people were like, oh, I don't know what that means, but I might read it, maybe not. And essentially, in the nutshell, what it's about is opening the conversation about who we are personally and how that collides with how we show up professionally. Because if you are going through, like, your life is falling apart behind the scenes, and this is how I felt for a decade. I would go from my couch, watching TV, being in pain, and I'll tell you the story in a second, or feeling grief and being consumed, to going and working on stages and working with some of the best financial institutions in this country and putting on a smile. And then my mom would show up and pick me up at the doorstep, and I would keep a smile on my face when we got in the parking lot, and then I would fall asleep and not even remember getting back to London, Ontario, because I was in so much pain. So if we can just reverse, I'll give you a little bit of synopsis of what happened. So, 30 years old, very normal, ambitious, professional. I was writing a column. I was the executive director of an eating disorder center. I was daddy's little girl. And my dad died, which, was part of life. Lost my boyfriend, lost my job, because I couldn't handle it, so I didn't renew the contract. And then fast forward, I'm sort of getting back into the stream of things, and I go in for a surgery. Now, if anybody ever tells you that there's such thing as, oh, it's a simple surgery, there is always a risk. And I went in for what should have been about 3 minutes, and it turned into several hours, and the surgeon cut, pulled, and permanently damaged my 2 main pelvic nerves, causing relentless neuropathic pain. Now, when you look at me, you're going to say, oh, she doesn't look like she's in pain. Would you like me to look like I'm in pain? I can do it. I can do the pain face. Do we all know people who are wearing the pain face? But nobody needs to see the pain face because it's kind of ugly and depressing. So anyway, that was that. And then, you know, there's the proverbial fan, right? So when one thing goes wrong, everything starts going wrong. Have you been here? And it's interesting because the fan doesn't know that it's only supposed to blow work problems between 9 and 5, and personal problems between 5:05 and 11 o'clock, and no problems at all after 11 because, by golly, you need a good night's sleep, don't you? So for me, what happened was I ended up having 5 surgeries to try to fix the first. Dealing with the pain, and out of the hospitals, you know, talking with them, and then I had a series of people who were really important in my life all die. As a matter of fact, I was walking into my mentor's funeral, and I found out that a guy who was really important in my life died at the same time, and nobody knew. And then my grandma, and then my former boss, and then a friend, and it just kept going. And the whole time I'm in this pain, and all I want to do now. All I want to do, can you imagine what I want to do? I want to be on a couch, and I want to be zoning out to a full PVR. Anybody with me those times in your life when, this is before Netflix, and by golly, if Netflix would have been around back then, I would have been a total zombie. But I have to run a business. And so I'm just a week out of my 5th funeral, and I have to go to this big sales meeting. 2 bigwig execs from this investment company. And I go to the formal, we were at the London Club, which is a business club in London, and we're sitting across the table. Now, if you have ever had a business meeting that is so bad that they start talking to each other and forgetting you're there, that was the moment. So this, you know, bigwig kindly says to me, he says, so, you know, obviously trying to spark up some conversation. So Allison, tell me, what do you like to do in your spare time? And I'm like, in my mind, because you know, we all have the conversation going on in the back of our mind, and then the one coming out of our mouth, and then the one we want to give to on the way home to the steering wheel. Well, at this moment, I'm thinking, here's my chance. I can save this meeting because I've got answers. What do I like to do? Oh, I like to ski. I like to volunteer. I like politics. I got it all. I can take this conversation anywhere. What do I say? I like to watch TV. And it was in that moment that I realized I needed to become a resiliency ninja. Actually, it wasn't in that moment. It was about a week later when I went to go see one of my doctors at the pain center. And he said, Allison, listen, here's the deal. I know we've been telling you that time heals all wounds and eventually this pain is going away, but it's not. It's permanent, and I think you need to come to grips with your reality. I would consider going on government disability, shutting down your business. You're probably never going to be able to work full-time again in your life. And it was in that moment when I looked at him and I said, screw this, no. It was more like, and I left, and I went into business consultant mode because here I've, I've got this business and I'm going to help people and I'm going to now apply my business acumen to my personal life and I'm going to solve this problem and I figure it's going to be a straight line. I'm going to fix this and we're going to be all set. Anybody ever felt that way? You're going through a really crappy time and you're like, no, I can do this. I got it. So I called my mom. And I said, listen, Mom, I've got this doctor here, and he tells me I should be going on disability, and you know I can't do that. But the truth is I can't drive myself safely to Toronto anymore because sitting is really hard for me for long periods of time. Still is to this day. And so she, being a widow, gave up her life, moved to London to come and take care of her little girl, who was a very independent, strong woman up until that point. And that became the married my mom joke. Right? It was she became the significant other. Every lonely night, every night of pain, some nights where she would turn off the lights, so they just couldn't even get to the lamp. The confidant, the person who knew everything. It was really great. So now when something bad goes wrong, what's the first thing that's what are people gonna tell you to do? what's the first advice you might think of when something's going wrong? How about think positively? I don't know what my threshold is here, but thinking positively will sometimes make you miserable. Because here's the thing, and I love Tony Robbins. I don't know if anybody ever has watched any of his work, but his whole thing on positive thinking is like, I don't have weeds, I don't have weeds, I don't have weeds, I don't want to have weeds. Yeah, you still got weeds. You can't think away the bad stuff that's going on in your life. And so that was really annoying. So I tried that for a while. I'm not in pain, I'm not in pain, I'm not in pain, I'm not in pain. Oh yeah, I'm still in pain. And then what happens, you start beating yourself up because what you're trying to tell yourself is not actually true, and you're just, fibbing yourself, and then there becomes this internal dialogue that doesn't work. Next one, time heals all wounds. I just had a few friends who went through, bless you, I just had a few friends who lost some people, and we were talking, and one of them had lost her mom, and she came into my office, and she said, everybody tells me time heals. And I'm like, you know what? Time just makes it easier to deal with the suckage. But there are things in life that just suck. Yeah, suckage. That's my word. You can use it. And when you use the word suckage, you can go, cha, and you can fa-cha out of the way when the fan blows at you. The worst advice, the one that drives me nuts the most, is just breathe. Yeah, got that one when I came out of the womb, people. But actually, what's interesting? I finally figured out what that meant. So the breathing thing, I make a joke about it, but there is some validity to it. I remember I used to go in for nerve blocks. And I would drive to Toronto and come here, and they would put me in, and they put you in the OR, and they give you a sedative, and I don't know what they do, but they essentially go in and inject you so you have a blocked nerve. Well, you usually do it in the OR. There's a team, and I don't like needles. And anyway, so one day I get there for the nerve block, but they'd forgotten to book the OR. And so they were like, oh, and I'm like, I need it. I'm going somewhere. I need to be able to feel pain. And they're like, well, we can do it in the office if you want. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. And the first time I couldn't handle it. It was impossible. It was just excruciating. And the second time I'm like, all right, give me a second. I put on my iPad, right, at the absolute top level with the earphones, and I blared F&M like you wouldn't believe in my ears. And I did like and I got through it. And they did it without any anesthetic or anything like that, just did the block. So I believe that your breath is very important. I'm going to do a little exercise with you because I actually went to a doctor and he finally told me the trick. Now, see, that breath is when you're fighting something. Don't do that if you want to calm down. But if you want to learn how, does anybody else have a question about how you breathe in the belly? Because like for me, it's like I'm breathing up here, not down here. I'm going to teach you how you do it. All right, here it is. You have to make a U with the back of your tongue. Like this. So first time I did it was like this. And that's not it. I was told that was wrong. But if you do, so look at me breathing, normal, and then you put the little U at the back, push down your tongue, and then breathe. And it's going to take your belly breath right down. Isn't that fun? This little trick. If you don't, we can work on it together, if you'd like. So, the breathing drove me nuts, but there was one piece of good advice that I got. And I was coming back from Cambridge. My mom wasn't able to drive me at this point, because she had another commitment. And so I went on my own, and I was driving back, and I was talking with I had certain people who I would call to talk through the pain. I called my friend Fiona, and I said, see, I just can't handle it. And she said, you know what you need? You need some puppy love. And she said, we were up in Stratford on the weekend, and we saw all these really, really, really cute dogs. I think we should just pull off the highway and go there. And sometimes we get so busy and so caught up in our head that we don't look at the universe's signs and the guideposts that it's providing for us. But in that moment, I looked up, and the exit I needed was the next exit. And I went, puppy love it is. And so I get up to Stratford, and no judgment, it was a pet store. No intention of getting a dog, nothing at all. I just walk in to get some puppy love. And I walk in, they've got this, so there's a bin across here, and then a whole bunch back there, and then some over here. So I walk in, and I see these little chihuahuas. And I pick them up, and pet, and not great, and then I put them down. I've got hair all over me, and that's fine. And then I, go back, and then I meet all these ones, and I'm like, oh, that's enough puppy love. Time for me to go. And as I was walking out the door, the furthest bin in the furthest corner is this little black ball who is licking his paw. And he looks up and he catches my eye and he goes, Mama, she's here! And if he could talk, he can't actually talk. And he jumped over every one of those dogs and got up the little steps and flew into the air, and just at that moment I caught him. And he was his sweet little bow tie. Who's judging me right now for having a bow tie on my dog? Totally good. Although I will tell you the story about this picture. This is in my office at Innovation Works, and the Governor General was coming that day for a tour, and so he wore the bow tie for the GG. But I'm not going to pretend like he doesn't have a wardrobe. He does. Okay? The good news is I used to judge people like me, now I am me, so it's all right. He was great, and I think what the resource in Winston was that I had gone from working 18-hour days and being out there to being really limited. And so he made being home wonderful and joyful. And, sometimes we think about loss and we think about all the things we're missing out on when there are other pieces that can fill in the blanks and bring some joy to us as well. So the first time, normally when I speak about business, right? How do you do sales? How do you network? How do you get to the decision makers? Like, I love that stuff. That has been 11 years of my company, Elevate Biz. This book just came out January 31st. So this is probably about the 4th or 5th time that I've actually done this talk publicly. So, yeah, okay. So, what I decided to do before I went and I gave my first speech in March was to do a stress test. Has anybody done a stress test online? Okay, so essentially, if you don't know what this is, what they do is they have identified how many, like on the stress scale, if you were to lose somebody you love, that would be worth, say, 40 points. If you move, that would be worth 20 points. If you, like all the different things that could cause stress, get added up so you get a score. And I thought, well, this is great. Why don't I go back to what I was doing in 2009 and do the stress test? Thinking from back then. So I did it. And my score was 734. And you're like, what does that mean? Well, the legend says that if you're anything over 330, go seek professional help.
Way to be an overachiever, Allison.
That's right. I would like it. So, but what was really interesting about that is it irked me. Because they were putting stress and confusing it with adversity. And I believe that we do this. We bucket stress, obstacles, and adversity into the same bucket. And then we're trying to use the same tools to overcome all of them, and it doesn't work that way. So let me share with you my philosophy on challenges. And it is that we have a continuum of challenges. Stress, which apparently is got a funny, never mind, sorry. You know what it says. Obstacles and adversity. The synopsis is this, that stress is caused internally. Obstacles can either be internal or external forces that you can either move, jump over, blow up, get around, whatever it is. Adversities are external catastrophes that are coming at you that you have absolutely no control over. See the difference? So let's just use some words here so you can see the difference. And apparently on a Mac, it's different than the PC because that was actually thoughtfully arranged before, but you can see it. So stress, pressure, tension, worry, anxiety, hassle, demand, strain. Obstacles. Barrier, hurdle, block, snag, deterrent, disadvantage, hindrance, or complication. Adversity. Misfortune, hardship, disaster, suffering, misery, trauma, accident, crisis, catastrophe, burden. There is such a different energy that comes with each of these. So now let's imagine, to illustrate this, if you were going through the forest or the desert or wherever you like to walk, and you were going along a path, and you have a goal of doing 5 kilometers. And all of a sudden, you have this pressure on yourself to do 5 kilometers, and then it starts to storm, and you're like, oh, I have to go back, and I only did 2. The pressure there and the disappointment is because you had an expectation to do 5. Okay, so a little bit stressful, not too bad, I've got to go back, and I'll do it again another time, no big deal, the path still exists. You can do it tomorrow. Obstacles are you walking along the path, and all of a sudden there is a big log in front of you, or a stick, or it forks, or a tree's fallen over. But like I said before, whatever it is there, you can jump over it, go around it, move it out of the way. If it's a stick, it might just eat it, like whatever it is. But you deal with it, however you choose to deal with it, and then you keep going. That's an obstacle. Adversity. We are walking along the path. Out of nowhere, there's an earthquake. A sinkhole is now in front of you, and there is absolutely no way to continue on the same path. Life as you knew it no longer exists. That's adversity. So now what we need to do is we need to redefine our expectation for that path. Anytime we spend wishing and hoping for the path to go back to the way it was before the sinkhole is wasted time. It is never going back to the way it was. And that's why when people tell me time heals, when you lose somebody in your life, it is never going back to the way it is. And then through this decade of hell, I didn't actually tell you this part, I had 8 random injuries. Now I did this and people thought I was actually joking, but there were things like I was changing a tire on a NASCAR. It's true. And I don't have the pictures on here, but I was doing, have you ever done that? It's a pit crew challenge. Oh my gosh, so fun. And they offered you the opportunity to choose which role you would like. And of course, if you were going to change a tire on a NASCAR, would you not choose to be the gunner? Yeah, so fun. And then you take it off, you roll it off, and you put up the other one. So the first time that I did it, they teach you just how to do it naturally. I was using like sort of leverage both of my legs because I'm a little stronger on the bottom than I am on the top. No judgment, just is the way I am. And I lifted the tire, no problem. But then we go and we learn best practices. And it turns out, if you are a pit crew guy, what you would do is you would just have both your knees on the ground and lift with your arms and put the tire out. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't lift it. because I didn't have the leverage. And so somebody came in with their foot to kick it, to help me get it up, and just as he did, and my head was in the way and kicked the tire off the bolts because I just got them on, broke the noses. So, not noses, I only have one. 2 surgeries, potentially another, but I'm refusing it. And now that's an obstacle. You know, is my nose the way it used to be? No. Does it hurt like heck? Yes. Do I have to wear latex sunglasses? Yes. You know, but that's an obstacle. Then I was skiing, and you know, somebody was beside me, and I thought, oh, how lovely. He's a philanthropist, really great guy. And I'm like, oh, please come over to ski with me. No idea I'm beside him. Go into the trees. I decided I'm going to go out there and get my social life rolling around again, and so I decided to go to a curling, you know, singles event kind of thing. And as we're all standing there getting instruction, somebody throws the rock. 2 casts, both hands, that's tricky. That's tricky at the same time. It's a Pearl Jam concert, ended up running into a thing and broke my, and we won't even get into it. So a lot of really shitty things happened. So it was a bit of a struggle. But those all heal. Those are obstacles. I remember once when I broke my toe, I had to present for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and I was in a cast, but I won't ever go on stage without heels. So I took off the cast behind the stage, put on a fairly reasonable pair of shoes, and went out and did the thing, did my set, and then went back off and put back on the cast. So, you know, it's funny because our bodies, think about the people in your life. Oh my God, I got broke today. And then they don't go to work, right? And we don't give our bodies enough credit that they will rally when they need to. But on the other side, we don't give ourselves enough credit and listen to ourselves that we need to rest and recuperate too. There was a post the other day on Facebook, a friend of mine is a real go-getter. And she's like, you know, my husband was sick and we just couldn't handle it because all he was doing was sitting on the couch and not getting anything done. So we made it a goal to get one thing done. And you know, that was important in the business. And I wrote back and I said, you know, because you gotta love those Facebook threads. Great place to debate this kind of information. And I'm like, you know, maybe the one thing he had to do that day was heal. And take time for ourselves to heal. So here's the irony with this. We as humans tend to exaggerate stress. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. Who is busy? Just for the record, being busy, telling people you're busy in a conversation does not define you in any way. It makes you human. We all know you're busy, but yet we exaggerate it, and it's this badge of honor. And God, I used to struggle with it because I was on the couch and I couldn't move and I couldn't do anything, and I was like, I need to be busier. And you know what? No. Life is for enjoying. Busy is for people who are stressed out and not taking control of the expectations and the time and trying to do too little or too much with too little time with not enough resources. And by the way, we can fix stress because it's all about the interpretation of what's going on in your world and what your expectations are. But go to the other side and we diminish adversity. How are you? I know your mother just died, your father just died, you're getting a divorce, you have had a surgery, you know, your child is sick. All of that, and what is the answer we give? I am fine. Hell no, you're not fine. Life is blowing up. And we do not, I believe, as a general rule, give ourselves the opportunity to truly feel and accept the adversity. It took me a really long time to get comfortable with pain. And Paul earlier today talked about happiness. And I think that was one of the reasons why, because I thought happiness was the goal. And maybe you felt this way. Because if happiness is our benchmark for are we successful or are we not successful, then any moment that you're not happy, at least I was, judging myself. What's wrong with you? Why are you not happy? And then I realized, read a book called The Happiness Trap. And it talked about the fact that society has taught us that happiness is neutral. Happiness is not neutral. Neutral is neutral. So when we look at our emotions, if we have, pull this back so either side can see, like here's this, I'm expecting that this is happy, when in actual fact, this is not happy, this is neutral, and happy is somewhere up here, and joy is up here, and elation, and all these wonderful, satisfied, fulfill, all these beautiful emotions that we all strive for. But you cannot have joy unless you have felt despair. You cannot have satisfied unless you've been totally bored out of your mind. And so I started to embrace these feelings. I go, okay, right now, this sucks, and I'm devastated, and I want to cry, or whatever. And when you sit with the bad, it no longer has control over you. It will dissipate. People ask me how I can function with nerve pain at the level I do. I've got strategies physically that I use a lot. But I think one of the most important times in my life was making friends with my pain. I know that probably sounds weird. If you've never had chronic pain, this may not help you at all, but it could help with anything, really. But I woke up every morning, and I had a 4-letter word that started every day. I'm going to let you guess what it was. And I would say that word, and I would say, this hurts. What am I going to do today to keep my business alive and to keep me moving forward as a person? And then I would beat myself up every time I wasn't operating at the pre-adversity alley level, which was ridiculous. The year before my surgery, I went to 241 events. Do not do that. That is a lot of work. But the surgery stopped me, right? And I resisted it. And finally, I was like, you know what? Pain. And actually, in the book, I think I call it like the Smurf. Because you have Smurf carriers, right? And their pain becomes, I'll show that in a second. But it's like I made friends with this pain. So when it flares up and goes to a 10, where it used to derail me and make me feel anxious and scared and overwhelmed and all of these different emotions, now the pain is there and I'm like, there you are, little bugger, you're still there. And it's like, but it can't do anything to me. There's nothing wrong, right? It's just pain. And I think so much of it is our mental attitude and our mental strength. And in the book that everybody has a copy of, by the way, thank you, Spark the Change, for buying that for everybody, yay. I actually have like what I call the resiliency ninja formula that you can draw from constantly if you're going through tough times, which is how I get through this. So does this make sense? Is that an aha for anybody? Different stress, obstacles, adversity? Can you see that? How that would be different? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a 1-minute exercise. This is a personal thing that we're going to do. If you all have a piece of paper, that would be great. And I would like you to just jot down everything that is causing you quote unquote stress. So let's call it your challenges. Just write them all out, and so you can look at them objectively and do that, and then I'll tell you what we'll do next with that. Now, and this is an exercise I would encourage you to do at home as well, and I find it very powerful in my own life, and I feel like things are getting out of sync. So then I'd like you to go through and decide, is it objectively a stress, an obstacle, or an adversity? And you can tell it's a stress if you put a definition on something that's an expectation that potentially is unrealistic. It's an obstacle if it could potentially be there or not be there, and if you can figure out how to get around it or blow it up. And it's adversity if it's never changing and it will weigh on your heart forever. All right, now doing that, does that help anybody? If you want to, we'll do a little sharing here. Anybody want to share anything from seeing that? And writing? Excellent, nobody wants to share. We draw writing things, so I assume you're not writing each other notes. That's great. So here's how we deal with things though. Because once you have it in black and white, and by the way, I feel so sad for those kids who don't know cursive, because how do you get to journal things like this? But I guess I'll do it on a computer, that's cool. When I see it down in black and white, I can look at things objectively, put my business hat on for the personal things that are going on in our life, and come up with a solution if it's available. So with stress, if those are the times when you're always so busy, and you're running the kids around, or whatever it is you're doing, that really is your decision to take control of it. We need to have some boundaries, learn how to say no. Actually time yourself to how long it takes you to do something. Because it shocks me how people, my mom is notorious for this, a lot of my material comes from my mom, poor woman. She doesn't know how long it takes her to get to work. She works for my brother sometimes. So she doesn't know that by the time she gets ready and she gets through the traffic lights and whatever, it takes her 20 minutes. She actually thinks it takes her 10. So she shows up every day that she's going at 10 after 9. Like, why don't you get here for 9? She's like, well, I left it plenty of time. Stopwatch people. So that is, we can do some workshopping around that another time. Obstacles, we're going to come back to those. Because here's the thing, the adversity will cause obstacles. So the adversity itself you cannot deal with. And that's where we have to do the healing in the heart and sitting with what's going on and feeling the true emotion of it and allowing it to be and redefining our life future. What does that new future look like? But from that adversity, for example, if you're going through a breakup and a divorce and you've got kids, that I would consider to be an adversity. But from that are a whole bunch of obstacles. Now you're single parenting in the morning, now you've got to incorporate your schedule and how you're going to deal with every other weekend and Wednesdays and all the other things that come out of it. For me, after the surgeries, the obstacles included it was really difficult at the time for me to drive back and forth. That lasted about 5 years. Now I'm pretty good. I'll usually stay an extra night or take the train if I can. It would create things with relationships where I would, make these glorious plans with friends and say, hey, yeah, let's go away this weekend. And then they'd get to Friday night and they'd be like, yeah, I can't go. Right? So that was an obstacle, so I had to deal with the friendships. But all of those things could be dealt with. And so where we want to use our brain power is how are we going to strategically get through the obstacles? And looking at them, and sometimes you've got to bring somebody else into your life and show them what's going on so they can come up with some ideas for you. There is one thing that will make all of it worse. And that is the voice inside your head that I have called the internal messenger of bullshit. In the absence of fact, your brain will fill in the missing gaps. An example. I cut the grass the other day. And I was actually having fun. So when I was a teenager, my brother and I had a lawn care service in the village, and we would cut everybody's grass, and that's how we made money when we were young, and it was a lot of fun. So I, got the neighbor to start the lawnmower. It just wouldn't go for me, but anyway, it did. And then I was cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting, and it's not that big a lawn, but I was having fun. And so I noticed over there that my neighbor hadn't yet cut her front lawn, so I kept cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. And then I saw her, and she's like, gosh, did I leave my lawn too long? I'm so sorry. And I'm like, that's the internal messenger of bullshit. Because, do you see how in the absence of fact, her not knowing that I was actually having fun in the 3 minutes it took me to cut her front little patch of lawn, then that's why I did it. It's just a nice gesture, never thought to mention it. And she thought, well, maybe I let my dandelions get too long. We fill in gaps. Somebody walks by us in an office or isn't paying attention. Oh, they're so mad at me about last week's meeting. No, they're just having a really, really tough day. Or they didn't notice you. Or they were fill in the blank. It could be a million different things. But that's the challenge with us filling in the blank for stories around us and not having all of the facts. And it's even worse when it comes to the personal attack ads and how we judge ourselves. As Paul said this morning too, we judge ourselves based on other people's outer, we judge our internal by other people's external presence. And I know, because I have a lot of, I'm single, all my friends have kids and are doing like the family barbecues and all of that great stuff, and God love them, but I'm at home watching their Facebook feeds. And I'm going to look and go, you know what? All right, it's not that they don't like you anymore, it's just they're doing family stuff right now, right? Like, because you can allow the internal judgments. Now, maybe none of you have ever had this. The self-doubt, the conversations in your head when you're not doing your absolute best, the self-sabotaging, the relationship filling in the blank on relationships and what the other person is feeling, and all they're doing is reading the newspaper, and that's it. they're not mad at you. All right, so this is what ends up happening though, because then we dramatize and catastrophize bad things. So bad things happen, and let's say this is a mountain. I'm not a very good drawer, so we've got a big mountain. And let's say this is, you're down in this quarter, or you've got a team problem, or there's something, you might lose your job, or like there's something significant that is legitimately significant. Okay, so here it is, the mountain. And the reality is that in our life, we have all these other little things that are going on, right? Little Johnny's got, the flu, and maybe your finances right now are really tight. You're trying to figure out how to make it to the end of the month. Maybe your business is, you're not quite sure where your clients are coming from. Maybe you're trying to lose some weight and you can't seem to figure out how to get that done. It could be anything. But then there's this big one here, and human nature, if we don't catch this, is to bring everything that is a potential problem up to the same level of problem. So you can hear it in people's language. Everything is going wrong. Nope, not everything. A lot of really great things going on in your life, I bet. But we bucket when things go wrong in adversity, like in 2009, before I started to figure out how to compartmentalize, that's awful, but this is really going well and I can do well over here. It was everything was a mountain to climb. Does that relate to anybody? No people in your life like that? Maybe not you. People at work. Oh my God, we've got this meeting. Oh my God, the whole day is shot. Have less meetings. So another way to look at it, same sort of a concept, but a little bit different, is what I call the, you know what, I'm not even going to draw this because I'm such a bad drawer. Oh, well, thank you, yeah. And it's alright, if ever there's like a long thing, I normally with my business stuff, I draw relationships and I use 4 flip charts. And one time the guy was really upset because he was way at the back and he couldn't read them. And I'm like, the people up front couldn't read a thing. Like, do not worry, it's all scribbles, all good. So, let's say we have a problem. Here it is. And we're going to imagine the problem is an ice cube. You with me? Now we're going to take that problem and we're going to go up to the local, let's call it Toboggan Hill, a nice high hill, full of freshly fallen snow. We're going to take our little ice cube, we're going to put it in the snow, and we're going to pack a snowball around it. Then, we're going to push it down this big toboggan hill, and we're going to allow it to collect all the freshly fallen snow around the little ice cube that was the problem. But now, we have a snowman bottom. Now, is it easier to deal with an ice cube or to deal with a snowman bottom? The internal messenger of bullshit is all of the snow and drama around our problems. And the only one who can control that is you. And the internal messenger of how you interpret problems. And so when we take our little stressors and our obstacles and we pretend that they're adversities, we give too much weight to them and we can't move forward as well. We cannot become a resiliency ninja. So, you know, I was going to tell you what I believe a resiliency ninja is. As I was creating this, it was like, I imagined a Hollywood movie with a ninja who is walking along the street, and then all of a sudden, out of the shadows, comes all these problems, and these people, and these things, and then they go, and then they come back out of the street, and they go, like nothing ever happened. But isn't that how we sort of feel like in our lives? We're walking along, we got to deal with all these problems, play whack-a-mole, swat down one, swat down another, and then we come out the other side. So when you say resiliency ninja, you gotta go. How are we for time?
7 more minutes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So we go through this, I've gone through it, we've got all those 8 injuries, we've got the surgeries, the pain, the singleness, all of it. And I've become very resilient. I run my business, I am so blessed to have phenomenal clients, I absolutely love getting to speak. I love getting to consult on how to grow your business. But even with all of those strategies, and the book is full of them, I still could not get back to joy. to that joyful, fulfilled sense of it's okay. Life is good again. And I was like, what is it that I can't, what's blocking me? And the answer was, I was not forgiving. Unless we forgive the people who have wronged us, I really truly believe we stay stuck in a level of anger and animosity where when we live there, and we need to go there. Damn straight, sometimes people mess up and they hurt us and they deserve to feel, we deserve to process our anger. But we need to process it, not hug it and like make it a carrier, a little Smurf carrier for our entire lives. We need to process it and let it go. I remember the night that I forgave the surgeon who cut hole. And we were in the middle of we had a legal stuff and all of that, and I wrote, I'm like, you know what, I'm just letting it go. I gotta get it out of my life, I gotta move on, let that, and my whole life changed the next day. I literally got up out of bed, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I signed the legal work, and because I'd always had the, release things, and I wrote, do better next time, sign. Do better next time, because I have to do it in 10 sheets. Do better next time, sign. Because here's the thing, I don't think he walked into that OR. Like he knew, I had a trip planned on Friday, this was Monday. I was going to Bosnia on Friday. He's like, oh yeah, we'll have you all set, you'll be on your way. He did not plan to go in there and get out of his league and run into complications and there's always a risk with surgery. He didn't expect it. But I was holding it against him. Right? It's like when people do wrong things, sometimes it's about them. Sometimes they just fell out of love. Just because they fell out of love doesn't mean they're a horrible person. Just means you guys aren't going to be together anymore. And we need, I am much more joyful when I come from the perspective that everybody is coming from a place of good. And I know that's altruistic, and I know there are some people out there who aren't. But I think for the average person, we're all just trying to do the best that we can. And so when we come from that place of giving people the benefit of the doubt, and not, filling in the blanks with the internal messenger, I think we can do a lot better. So I think we are going to run out of time. Are there any questions just before I wrap up? No? Okay. What's that? It doesn't look like anybody's jumping to ask me a question. I love questions. By the way, while we're waiting for the microphone, I will tell you, I am happy to give everybody, I have a Resiliency Ninja online program that launched last week. It has the whole formula and videos and all of that, and I am happy to give everybody a month free if you would like that. And then if you enjoy it, go ahead, sign up. It's pittance, it's not a whole lot of money or anything like that, but I would love to give everybody that free. All you have to do is text me or email me or give me your card, and I'll get that out to you tomorrow when I get back to the office. Woo! Like, whoa! Awesome. All right, questions. You got a microphone.
Well, I have it, doesn't mean I have a question.
Oh, okay. We don't need questions. This is why you never end a question. But anyway, so here's the thing. There are going to be times when the proverbial fan is going to power on high. And in those moments, I hope for you that you will take something out of this and we'll sit down and look, okay, is this a stress? Is this obstacle, adversity? Split it all up, look at it objectively, create a plan, because every time something goes wrong, you have a choice. You can either choose to go to victimhood and have it define you, or you can choose to rise as a resiliency ninja. And I hope when it does come on, you'll be like, and get it all out of the way, and you're going to keep going to where you deserve to get to. So thank you for having me.